Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss about the polymer composite processing. What we have done in previous lecture regarding the polymer composite is the type of composite classification of composite, and we have discussed about the main constituent of the composite, like what is matrix, the concept of matrix, the concept of reinforcement, classification on the basis of matrix, classification on the basis of reinforcement. We have done these things. Now it is the time to understand how these polymer composites are being processed, what is the method of processing, because the most important task is to just generate or manufacture the composite, because when we are going to combine two different type of material, they are different in mechanical property, they are different in physical nature, they are different in chemical nature, but still we have to combine them. So it is very difficult task, it is very important task to manufacture, to combine these different materials. So in order to this, we have to understand the various manufacturing processes or various composite processing, especially for the polymers composites. So let's start. First of all, we need to understand that how the polymer composites are being processed. What are the stages of composite polymers? Especially when we talk about the stages, basically there is two stage, the first stage and the second, and which is called the primary and secondary stage. In the primary stage is generally known as near net manufacturing, or it is simply called the shaping process. Shaping process means it is the first stage of manufacturing process in which different constituent or different material from the different properties are being mixed together just to convert it into a particular shape, like a sheets, like a cube, like a rod, whatever it is. So simply the main stage of this composite processing is the primary, which is called the shaping process, or it is called the primary processing of composite polymer. So in this stage we will discuss about how the different material are being mixed together, because it is very difficult task to mix them when they are in different nature, when they have different mechanical property, when they have different physical property, but still they have to mix with each other. So the main task of mixing the material is simply called the primary stage processing or primary processing. And in second stage, once the polymer is formed, in the first stage, simply what we have done, we have done that the simple mixing of different constituent of composite material, and after the first stage we will get a particular composite material, but now it is required to convert into a particular shape, it is required to convert into a tangible products. The second stage or secondary processing simply deals with the manufacturing of composite material into a final product or tangible product. So in the second stage or the secondary processing, like we can use machining process, drilling process, shaper, milling, whatever the manufacturing process are available, we can use to convert the composite material into a final product. So in this stage we can classify that the primary stage and secondary stage. So when we talk about the primary stage is further classified in three categories. Generally the classification is based on types of mold available. In the primary processing, the first category of classification is open mold process, and the second one is closed mold process, and third is miscellaneous, or which can be termed as other processes. So in open mold process, there are various processes are being used to shape the composite, to manufacture the composite. The first is hand layup, second is spray layup, tap layup, tape layup, autoclave method. These four processes are being used in open mold process. And in second category of primary processing is compression molding, injection molding, transfer molding. And third category, which is comes under the category of miscellaneous or other, that is pultrusion and filament binding. So this is the complete classification of primary processing of polymer composites. So we will discuss about the open mold process first, because in our course only one or two processes is being included at under the graduate level. So basically we will discuss about the hand layup process, how the hand layup process is going on, and what is the simple method, what is the simple fundamental of hand layer processing. Here you can see it is the simple diagram of hand layer process, and it is a category of open mold process. So you can see here is simply a open mold. You can see it is the lower portion of the mold which is known as open mold, and here you can see that release gel is available, reinforcement, polymer resin, roller, resin, composite, laminate. Now let's see how this process is carried out. Here the open mold is placed, and on the lower portion of the mold, means on the open mold, a release gel is applied. Release gel is nothing but it is a spray type gel, spray type substance which are being sprayed on the mold. Why it is applying? The question is why we are applying this spray gel, why we are applying the release gel, because when the resin is being applied on the mold, there are high chances of sticking of resin with mold. So in order to avoid the sticking, we are applying release gel, so it will prevent the sticking of resin to the mold. And here it is the reinforcement. Once the gel is applied, once the release gel is applied on the mold, now in the second stage we will apply the reinforcement. One layer of reinforcement is applied, or one layer of reinforcement is put on the release gel. Then on the reinforcement we will again put the polymer resin. Polymer resin means main matrix of the composite part. Means when we talk about the composite, there is two major part, one is matrix and second is reinforcement. So first one layer of reinforcement is put, then over the reinforcement we will put the resin or polymer composite. In case of thermoset resin, if you talk about the thermoset resin here, then it will be available in form of gel. It is coming from this part. So here the thermoset gel, or you can say the polymer resin, is coming out from here. It is in form of gel. So on the reinforcement layer we will put some layer of thermoset gel, or it is simply called polymer resin. Then the roller is used. Roller, what is the purpose of roller? Roller is simply used for various purpose. In case of hand layup, there are few purpose. The first purpose is just to apply the pressure. Why we are applying the pressure? The purpose of applying pressure is just to remove the air trap between the resin and reinforcement, because when we are pouring the gel on the reinforcement, or when we are putting the material in form of gel on the reinforcement, there are high chances that some air bubble may trap between the reinforcement and gel, or reinforcement and polymer resin. So we are applying some pressure just to remove the air bubble which are trapped between the polymer resin and reinforcement. And the second thing is we can control the quantity of polymer resin. Here we are applying the pressure, and again we can control with the help of this roller the quantity of resin. If the quantity of resin is more, we can remove it with the help of roller. So there are various purpose, but in case of especially hand layer process, we are just using to control the quantity of resin and to remove the air bubble trapped between the gel and reinforcement. So one layer is reinforcement is put on the mold, and the second layer of polymer resin, then again put the another layer of reinforcement, then on the reinforcement you can put another layer of resin. Similarly, you can put multiple layer of polymer resin and reinforcement, resin and reinforcement. When you will get some thickness or some laminated composite, then you can stop the putting of resin and polymer reinforcement and polymer resin. So this is the simple operation how the hand layer process is manually done. It is widely used in the industry nowadays, and it is very simple process you can make anywhere. Here you can see a simple diagram of how the hand layer process is carried out. You can see it is the open mold. Here it is the open mold, and in this container here is the thermoset gel is available, and here is the reinforcement it might be a glass fiber, and you can see the how the reinforcement is applied. The reinforcement is applied on the open mold. Before applying the reinforcement, you can spray the release gel on the mold, then put the reinforcement, and again in the third stage, here the polymer resin, that is thermoset, in form of gel is spread over the reinforcement or reinforcement glass fiber. So one layer of reinforcement is placed over the mold, and another layer of thermoset gel is applied on this. Then we simply apply some pressure just to spread properly the gel. That the gel should be spread uniformly over the reinforcement, and if there are some air bubble is trapped, then it should be removed properly. Then again we will put some reinforcement, and after reinforcement we will put some polymer resin. So in this way we can get a particular thickness, a particular laminated thickness of composite material. So this is called the simple hand layup process, and I hope you can easily understand the process. It is very simple. Just apply the multiple layer of multiple layer of reinforcement and polymer resin. And one more thing is very important. In case of suppose we are applying the polymer resin and reinforcement, then we have option that we can change the orientation of reinforcement. We can place the reinforcement in longitudinal way. We can place the reinforcement in longitudinal and transverse ways. We can change the orientation of reinforcement on each and every layer, so it will increase the overall strength of the composite. Here the method of putting the reinforcement is very important, because when we put the reinforcement in a longitudinal way, longitudinal orientation, and in the next layer when it is applied, when it is put in transverse ways, then we can apply in different orientation. So overall laminated material will have some extra property, some extra strength. So this is very good when we are making the composite with hand layup. Hope you understand the process. It is very simple and it is widely used. So we will meet in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.